Nail or beauty school was just the beginning, right? What on earth do you do now? Welcome to the Salon Success Podcast with Monaco Nail Academy. Our topics stretch beyond nails and into all things salon related, business, marketing, and social media, and at the very least hits you with real, honest stories about our experiences. This isn't school, this is real life, real business, and really freaking hard work. Before we get started wherever you are, thumbs up, tag a friend in the comments, or hit that share button and support small business. Hey guys, Penny here from Monaco Nail Academy, and today I'm joined by a whole host of people because we are summing up Summit 2025. So you all know Mel.
Hi.
Mel, do you want to lead us in with a little bit of a different intro that Moose and Kaylee can copy?
Cool. All right. Good morning, guys. So you guys know me. I'm Mel. So I'm one of the mentors here at Monaco. I started studying in 2019 and I graduated in 2020, right in the thick of COVID. So high five to my husband for being my model. I don't currently take clients, but before that, my most client services that I offered was builder, gel, a little bit of polygel and hard gel. But I did qualify in everything. I currently live in the Hawke's Bay. My handle is now crafting a healthy Mel because I'm trying to teach myself to crochet and try and stick to my gym journey as well. And my affiliate code, as lots of you guys already know, is Mel. So yeah, let's do the other guys. Who wants to go? Kaylee or Moose? Who's feeling the bravest this morning? Kaylee, let's go. Perfect. And Katie doesn't have an affiliate code yet, but we're going to make her one. So stay tuned for next time for that one. All right, Moose.
Hey there, my name's Moose. I'm a graduate, although, I always want to be keeping learning and going back to do things that I haven't qualified in yet. I graduated last year, and I'm just in the process of setting up my salon at the moment. I'm in Auckland, and my Instagram is Cat Nails.
Cool. And Moose also doesn't have an affiliate code, so Mel gets all the commission. Whoop whoop.
Oh no.
So before we jump into summing up Summit, Mel, do you want to remind us what was on the last episode?
Yeah, what was it?
I'll work it out.
So you guys that listen to the podcast, guys don't hear all this like, Hey.
The last episode was Pat's shopping episode.
Oh, that's right. And what was she talking about? Like what not to bother buying? Is that what we were doing?
Yeah, we went through like what our thoughts were like on extractor fans and on like brushes and like what was worth spending money on and what was worth going cheap.
Yeah, so last episode was Pat's episode that she wanted to chat about. So she wanted to talk about shopping, shock horror. We all know that our Pat loves to shop. But she was actually giving us some advice on what not to bother investing in and what we absolutely should invest in and what we could get away with just buying a bit cheaper and still getting the same results. So yeah, that was quite a fun episode with our Pat. Okay, so coming from chatting away last time, let's get into the new one, which is talking about our Summit 2025. So let's talk to the new guys for a little bit. Okay, first of all, what made you guys decide to come to Summit 2025? And your journey to get there? We'll talk about that a bit later. But you made it. And what about you, Moose? What made you decide to come? Because you also attended last year, so returnee. Boop, boop.
Woo! Yeah, I went last year and I just found it so useful for learning and like improving my skills as a nail tech. And also meeting other nail techs from around the country is really, really valuable. And I found that really valuable last year. So I basically signed up as soon as I could.
Yeah. And have you guys both joined up for next year?
I have.
Nice.
We worked out this morning, there are 11 people who have or will have gone to all three. So like 11 people that were at the first year that were there this year and that are already signed up for next year.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Exclusive merch.
Ooh.
Yeah, well, it's the people who were at this year who signed up before the end of Summit that get exclusive merch next year. So I think there's like 17 people repeating, like from this year, 100% guaranteed next year. So that's really fun. And then there's already new people flying in.
FOMO.
So Mel, what about you? Like, what made you decide to come to Summit is because I told you to. But like, what made you want to come to Summit?
Yeah, so I guess I'm the same as a few people, like not actually doing clients yet or not actively trying to get clients, but the nail community is still a part of my life. And the Monaco community is a big part of my life. And Summit's like the biggest event of Monaco. So your girl ain't missing that. I love social stuff, which is why I was like half dead on the last day, because your girl was up till 1, 2 a.m. every night having fun.
Meanwhile, I was asleep.
Yeah, so I was not missing that, but I did make a mental note to myself to not do that next time.
I will believe that when I see it.
Yeah, watch me do it next time, because I feel like inside I can keep up with the like young 20-year-olds, but when I got home, I was like exhausted.
Which we should point out though that like, I think Kaylee was the youngest one there, right, Kaylee? And you're 23. And then like, our oldest would have been in their 60s, and there's a wide range in between. So although Mel says keeping up with the young ones, actually I think it was the quote-unquote oldies that were out the gate the most.
I think you're right there, it was. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm literally 20 years older than Kaylee. But yeah, it's for me, it's the social side of it. And like Moose said, keeping connected to everybody and also meeting the students in person. Like it's so much different getting to just sit down, have a drink or two or a cup of tea or a meal together, rather than being on a lesson where it's like, okay, this, we've got things to achieve. In our chill time, we can just literally chill and chat and get to know each other a bit better and laugh. And yeah, that's what pulls me in, is like the social side of it.
And we were talking about like the couple of days before Mel, we were talking about how like Summit reinvigorates our nail energy and like passion for nails, because in between most of us are working solo, and then a lot of us have multiple jobs or families or partners or like so much shit going on, and then you kind of get stuck a little bit under a weight of like, this is so freaking hard, and then you go to Summit and you're like, I could take over the world.
Totally, yeah. And I think I literally said like, oh, I can't wait to like mooch all the like energy off the newbies and like suck it right out of them and just, like, yeah, re-energize my own love for nails. And even doing like the one acrylic nail on Erin, I was like, my gosh, I forgot how much I love acrylic.
Yeah, like halfway through day 2 when I was like, I just want to do a nail. And it was terrible, but it was fun.
Mine was terrible too, but I used it to tell the students, like, we're not perfect either. I haven't touched acrylic for about 2 or 3 years, so.
Yeah. And like, Mel can vouch that only a few weeks before I was like, do not let me do this again next year. It is so stressful. I hate this. Like,
oh God,
it's not worth it. And then like, maybe a week later, I was like, okay, so here's the link for next year's summit. And Mel's like, didn't we just have a conversation about this? I was like, look. This
is her actual words. No matter what I say or do not let me do this again. And I was like, okay, Roger. And then here's the link. And I was like, what happened?
It's not my fault.
But watch us go and have a great time.
Yeah, and also at this point, there's certain people that I think would actually kill us if we didn't do it, or like they'd take a stand and be like, fine, we're going to plan it ourselves and we'll call it like Summit.
Yeah, funny.
So the night before, like that's how Mel and I were feeling. I mean, the night before I was just super excited. Like it's the weeks leading up, I was stressed and like, this is so difficult to do. But the like couple of nights before, I was starting to be like, it's time. And I said in the Summit group chat that we have for participants that like every year I get this little like buzz when people start moving, like if you've ever watched a flight map with where you can see where all the planes are going that are like in the air at any one time, that's what it feels like when everyone starts traveling towards Summit. Because, for example, Nicole came over from Australia for Summit, so she started her travel like 3 days before, and a lot of us mentors were up 24 hours before the participants, so we started our travel like quite early. And so as people start to move and put in the chat like, I'm on my way, or this is my first flight and stuff like that, it gets really exciting to feel like everybody's on the way for this cool thing that we're doing. So the night before I was just excited and I just wanted to go now. But like, how were you guys feeling in the lead up to Summit?
Tell us about how your journey to actually get there too, Kaylee, because you had a bit of a shit show, didn't you?
That's cute.
I spotted you coming in, hey, so I think I was probably at the bar, I think, wasn't I? And then I was like, oh, Kaylee's here. So it was quite good, actually. I could be like, everyone.
I think like a lot of people are shitting their pants the night before. Like last year, we had 3 people pull out of Summit in the 48 hours before Summit, and all of it was anxiety. Like there was a couple of like weak excuses, I would call them, but like it was the kind of thing where you go like, I'm pretty sure she's just nervous, and then in the weeks afterwards they'll tell you like, honestly, I was just nervous. And there was a lot of anxiety floating around this year as well. But Moose, having been twice, how did your like night before compare last year versus this year?
I think it was pretty much the same, honestly. I did have the experience of going last year and like really enjoying it. But it's still like it's a big commitment to go and be around other people for like 3 days, and like hang out, and you don't really and like have like a packed schedule as well. So I was feeling pretty anxious the night before. And sometimes what I do when I feel anxious is I try to like avoid things. So I was like the week before I was avoiding the chat where people were talking, and I was avoiding packing for way too long. So the night before I was packing basically. But what I kind of try to do to kind of manage my anxiety is that since I will go to avoid things, I'll try to like engage with them instead. So it was really helpful for me before Summit to talk to other people in the chat, even though it can be a little bit overwhelming because there's just a lot of people in the chat. Once you get started like chatting to others, that makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, that chat's it can be quite full on. But then it's kind of like a black hole. Like once you go in, you get like sucked back into it.
Yeah, I found that many times.
The thing with the chat is like we've previously used it to communicate like important stuff. Like that was the idea of the chat, was like, let's put everyone in one place, and then when we need to tell them something, we can. Except that because there's now so many people and they know each other and stuff, that important stuff gets lost. So I think next year we're going to try, maybe, don't hold me to it, but I'm pretty sure we're going to have a separate little baby website that has all of that stuff on it. And then the chat can just be a place to get to know each other, and not, it means it'll be less stressful because there is absolutely no reason to scroll back up. You can kind of just pop in and be like, hey, what's everyone up to? Which I think will make it a little bit less overwhelming, because you can just mute it while you're at work and then come in and be like, what's up? They work well if people know how to find pinned messages.
Yeah, like to Kaylee and your generation, that's like second language to me, and the people above me, they're like, huh? What does that mean? And how do I even find it? And where do I go? And yeah, so there was a bit of like managing that sort of stuff as well.
If you're struggling with what to say on Instagram, our free caption kit from Monaco Nail Academy walks you through writing your own one easy step at a time. No copy-paste nonsense, just a way to say what you actually want to say. Get it for free at monaco.ac.nz/the caption kit. Kaylee, was this your first time meeting like other nail techs in real life? I would be shitting my pants.
You met me first.
I think it's really helpful that a lot of like the people that come to Summit, everyone's really in their own place in their like nail journey. So you get like to talk to a lot of different people who have had very different experiences in different areas and who specialize in different things and who have been doing it for like 10, 20 years or who are just starting. And it's really good to talk to people with like a bunch of different experiences in a different place in their nail life.
Yeah, for sure. Everyone's kind of, I always say it's like walking into a gym, like everyone's there for themselves, but no one's there to like drag you down. Everyone's kind of helpful, but nobody's really like, oh my God, look what Moose is doing. Like everyone's there for their own reasons, focusing on themselves. But as a whole, it's like this big encouraging community.
Yeah, like if someone says, look what Moose is doing, it's not in like a, ooh, did you see how shit she is? It's literally like multiple times throughout Summit, you'll have people be like, did you see what Moose is doing? And it's because like they want a crowd of people to go around and be like, whoa, that's so cool. You expect it for sure to be like, I don't know, bitchy or catty, or like there'll be some like clicky or whatever, but obviously people end up closer friends with some people and less close friends with others. But I think the Monaco community, I mean, I'm biased, but I think the Monaco community is pretty good at being like, we don't care if you're 23 or 65 or like neurodivergent, neurotypical, anything. Who gives a like, no one cares about all the differences, like, because you're in the cheesy way, like united by nails kind of thing. So I don't think we really get too like, obviously, like, you know, there's not everyone's gonna love everyone else, but everyone's pretty good at keeping everyone else in check. Like there's not really ever that sort of like negativity gets a chance to flare up. Yeah.
That's the best part for me. And it's like a workplace, right? Like you have your coworkers that you just, they're there, but you don't really like interact as much with them. And then you have your workmate that you're like, where are you? Like my day's going to fall apart if you're not here. There's that level, but there's never any like, ooh, I hate her. Or, ooh, it doesn't really exist in Monaco. Maybe because we're all kind of on the same journey. So
every now and then in the community we'll have someone try and like cause shit, but the thing is that we've always been pretty good at immediately shutting that down. And I think that our marketing is pretty well targeted, Kaylee will laugh at that, for getting like exactly who will fit in with our community. So if someone's not going to fit in and is more inclined to want to be part of like drama and stuff like that, chances are they're not enrolling in the first place, because that's just not really what like, even from the outside, it wouldn't look like that would be acceptable, or like we're never posting anything that is competitive or like bitter or anything like that. So if that's the way someone's naturally inclined, they're just not really part of our community to start with. Every now and then someone will slip through the cracks, and then they'll put a post on our student group or whatever trying to like go, oh, did you see this person? And everyone will like, it'll be something dumb like sharing a post they saw on social media but coming from a negative space. And everyone will be like, hey, that's not how we treat people here. And like, it's very rare. I literally couldn't tell you the last time it happened, but I know across our 14-year history, I can think of maybe twice that person who's done something like that has then immediately left the student group, which obviously we don't want them to be having a negative experience. But I think that's why our community ends up so good and so tight and so positive, because we just don't have a tolerance for anything other than supportive and positive.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And if they, yeah, like you say, if they do slip through the cracks, they don't stick around for very long, because they're not getting what they want, because we don't want that shit. Anyway, okay, so let's talk about like the learning side of things. What was your guys' favorite thing that you learned over the 3 days? Like, was there a session or a technique that surprised you about like how fun it was and how useful you feel like it might be for you now going forward?
I really liked the pigment demos. That was really fun. And I liked that we had like time to play with pigments for ourselves and put what we used into action, basically. And I did also like while we had the coaching sessions where we could kind of choose what we wanted to work on with the mentors. I was the model for someone's polygel extension, and it was her first try at an acrylic French. And I thought that was really exciting to watch someone's first try at that. And also I was really interested to learn about polygel, because I didn't have that much experience with it in the past. So it's kind of, honestly, like that whole day was really helpful because it was the same day as the pigment day. Yeah, that was really, really interesting to me.
Yeah. So have you done polygel before or no?
I haven't done very much polygel. I haven't
yet.
done the course, so it was quite interesting to see how it all worked, especially in the context of the French extension.
It's interesting what you say about the pigments and stuff, because last year we tried really, really hard to make Summit like as neutral as possible in terms of trying not to do like a typical course that you'd go to where it's like, we're going to demo this and then you're going to practice it. And then we're going to demo this and you're going to practice it. And last year we tried to make it way more like, not vague in a bad way, but much more like, in this session you can practice whatever you want under this umbrella. And in this session you practice whatever you want, but under this umbrella. And then this year we brought in the pigment demos and pigment time, which was a bit more, here's a demo, now go practice it. And people seemed to love it. So I think that's my own hang up, that I was trying to make it like extra broad last year. People still liked it. They didn't know any different, I guess. But I think next year we're going to split it a bit more between like open coaching and a bit more like, let's all work on the same thing together at the same time. I don't know what you guys think of that, but that's what I'm picking up from like the overall feedback I'm getting from everybody. I have so many ideas for next year. I'm still like tattooing about the program itself, but I swear I have like 3 summits worth of things I want to do. So Kaylee, then what was your biggest aha or learning moment? Because it sounds like yours might be pretty opposite to Moose's. So do you want to just quickly explain for people that haven't been to Summit what social media takeover is? Yeah, it's technically one of our social events because we do an optional social event each night of Summit. And social media takeover, we all get into PJs and we have pizza and we sit around and people volunteer their social media pages to be put up on the projector. We did it last year as well, and it was lots of people's favorite part of Summit. So we're not judging anyone's page who doesn't want to be judged, but we had, I think, 4 volunteers who wanted their pages put up. And we just all work as a group to critique and constructively give feedback on how, from the viewer's side, we would change or improve that person's social media.
Yeah, it's a definite fave. Like, that was optional for us mentors, and guess who was there? Me, because I love it.
I think all of you were, just maybe popping in and out for
yeah, popping in and out. And I was just sitting there eating my breakfast. But of course, I got dragged in and was like, hey, do this, do that, do this.
No, that was captions morning. I just said we were in pajamas and having pizza, and then you were like, I was eating my breakfast. I was like, we weren't having pizza for breakfast.
It was the next morning, yeah, because I was in my pajamas, but I don't think anyone else was.
On the social media takeover?
No, the morning one. I'm thinking of the morning one. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Yay!
So Kaylee was one of the people who volunteered her page for social media takeover. So what was the biggest thing that you learned or got out of having your social media critique?
Nice. And have you changed your profile picture? Yeah. Shout out to @Kaylee Rose Nails.
Moose, you were at the social media takeover, eh?
Yes, I was.
Did you get much out of it, being that you weren't taken over?
Yes, definitely. I think also a big part of it is the other Monaco students get a say as well. So we have part of the critique is kind of open. And I do think that everyone's really positive and supportive in there. But it was also really good to have that space to be able to say your opinion and then get feedback on that as well from the mentors and from other people, because it's all stuff that you can take back to your own social media.
Yeah, totally. We were chatting to Kaylee when she was doing her takeover about her profile picture and what to have in her bio. It's all sort of stuff that makes you go, what's my cover photo? Or have I got that in my bio? Just because you're not being taken over doesn't mean you're just sitting there doing nothing. It's a big group effort, and there's definitely stuff that you can apply to your own page, like Moose said. So yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite ones, the takeover and the caption stuff.
Hey guys, Future Penny here again. Just a super quick interruption to let you know that if you head to monaco.ac.nz/subscribe, not only can you sign up to our weekly newsletter, but you'll also get a free video lesson from our course, The Art of Pigments. That's monaco.ac.nz/subscribe. The other thing that the guys were confusing was our captions seminar the next morning, where we were going through guided caption creation, which actually keep an eye out if you're a listener, because we've got a what would we call it, Mel? Like a self-guided version of that seminar coming out at some point. But so rather than, we won't go over like everything that we did in the captions seminar, but if someone came to you guys and was like, what is this first 5 thing that everyone's talking about? How would you sum it up and like in a minute or less try and teach first 5 to a newbie?
I'd probably say the first 5 is basically like the hook that you get people to read the rest of your caption. And you want to keep the first 5 words around really interesting and kind of tantalizing to tempt the viewer to expand the post and read the rest of the caption, which is where you would want to be kind of building your relationship with them and, you know, talking about what you do. Yeah, that's what I kind of got out of the first 5. But it's a little bit hard for me, but just need like practice writing, really.
It's hard for most people. Mel's a freak of nature and she's naturally great at it, but for most people, it's really hard.
Because I'm a yapper. So when I write my captions, I just yap like I'm yapping.
But not everyone can yap and still smash out a first 5.
Yeah, I'm a yapper. Even at Summit, I was like, I keep telling myself, like, stop yapping.
No, yapping's good. Well, without yapping, we wouldn't have a podcast, so...
What about you, Kaylee? You're like, first 5, how would you tell it to someone who's got absolutely no idea? Yeah, for sure. It's so funny in the caption thing because people start off so tame, like, ooh, how about this? And by the end, everyone's so much more feels more free to be themselves. And there was like swear words and like innuendos and all sorts were coming out that just suited everyone. And it was, that's my favorite part, to see people like coming out a bit more and not being so afraid. Like, it's your page.
Well, like, if you want to be sitting with people that are very well put together and very, very polite and that sort of thing, then yes, your social media should be well put together and very polite. But if you want to be sitting across from someone that you can have a natter with, then you need to show them in your social media that you're nattery, because that's what will attract them. Otherwise, you're attracting the wrong people.
Yeah, and I think I was talking to you about this, Kaylee. Like, I don't write my captions without swear words or without, other things that I usually say and talk about, because then when they come, they're going to be very shocked when they meet the real Mel.
And then they won't return because you weren't what they expected.
Yeah, and I'm going to be bored the whole time because I can't speak because I'm afraid I'm going to offend them. Like, So, yeah, you got to put out what you want to. And it's your page. If they don't like it, oh, well, there's the unfollow button. Like, ta-ta.
And we always say we're selling relationships, not services. So that's where Moose already said, like in the caption, you're telling people who you are and building that relationship. And where someone might swear or use innuendos and someone else might not, like, it's all about building that relationship with the sort of person that wants to sit in front of you and that you want to spend that time with.
I think it was a really good reminder for me because I'm just starting up my business right now. But I have had my social media for quite a while. It was really good to have a reminder of those kind of concepts, so that I can bring that into what I'm doing with my social media now, and how I want to manage it in the future. I think it gave me a really good kind of baseline strategy that I can use in my social media.
Yeah, your social media is awesome, Moose. I love it.
I think one of my favorite parts about Summit is all the Summit isms, and this might like scare people off because they're not part of it, but this happens every year. So if you sign up for Summit 2026, you will be part of next year's Summit isms. But like this year, after the caption seminar, like for the rest of the day, you'd hear someone call out first five and it would be like in general conversation. But so for example, Nanette said to someone else like, oh, I left my nuts in your room. And someone else yelled out like first five because it was like silly, like just silly, and will grab attention and be like, what are you talking about? And like, so all throughout the rest of the day, people would yell first five. And then like even just in the chat, someone said NSFW for not safe for work days before Summit. But all throughout Summit, it would just get yelled around the room, like, and never because something was actually not safe for work. It would be like real dumb stuff that like someone would suddenly be like NSFW, and like just these silly little things that now are just for us. Like there's like Hannah said yesterday when she went back to her real job, because nails are her side hustle, she went back to her corporate job, and then she had to remember to be like corporate Hannah instead of Summit Hannah because there were so many times that she wanted to like call out Summit isms and stuff. I love that.
Good. Keep track of all the isms, and then on like the 5th one or the 10th one, merch t-shirt with all the Summit isms on it.
Yeah, that would be fun. Actually, that's a great idea.
One or something, I don't know, depends how long you want to do it for.
I think that's like another really good thing about Summit, because these kind of things that we learned and the concepts and stuff like that, there's no one else in my life who I can really talk about those things with, because I mean, even people who have their own businesses will have like a different focus. So it's really useful to be able to actually discuss things like first five and social media with other nail techs who kind of have the same goals or like similar situation. I think that was really useful.
Yeah, that's such a good point. That's so cool, Miss. I love that for you.
I think one of the things that people are most apprehensive about for Summit is on the last day, we do what we call open book comps. And the thing is that Summit was actually born from a couple of silly ideas that shouldn't have ever been mixed together. But like, so people were saying that they were too scared to do the national competitions because they weren't good enough or whatever. And like me and Mel and some of the other mentors were like, that's so dumb. Everybody can do comps. And we wanted to create like a mock competition so that people could have a go and like, I don't know, see that it wasn't that scary. And then we thought, okay, what if we did open book competitions? So it's all the competition rules, but the mentors are still walking around. And like there was other stuff, like Anthea had said, can we do a graduation party, which is where prize giving came out. Like basically Summit was like all these dumb ideas, not dumb, they were great ideas, but all these ideas mixed together to create Summit. But still we get people who see, like we always say, and I heard a few people saying this throughout the thing, it's not a competition, it's training with prizes. And that's what we always say, because in the open book comps, it's literally, we tell you what the competition rules are for the national comps, and we follow the national comps rules for judging, but we also still let you grab stuff out of your bag, which you're not allowed to do in comps, and you can leave to go to the toilet, which you're not allowed to do in comps. And the mentors are walking around helping and being like, that's not straight, or that could be done this way, or if you did one more top coat, that would get you an extra point because it would be more even and stuff like that. The only thing the mentors aren't allowed to do is touch your model, because then they would be doing it for you. But still, every single time that we've done anything like this, we get people in the lead up being like, can I just sit out of that? I don't want to do it. And like being scared. And then we kind of want to shake them and be like, but it's not a competition. It's learning with prizes. So let's talk about comps for a second and your guys' experiences with comps. We already know that we're changing the marking sheet next year because we used the direct judging sheet from nationals, like we got it from them to use, but actually in our setting it didn't work as well. So we already know we're changing that. But from your guys' perspective as participants, how did you find the open book comps?
I mean, for one thing, I do think it's really useful to have like something like the open book comps, especially if you are interested in entering the full competition. And a big reason for that is because New Zealand only really has one other nail competition, and that kind of means that at the moment it's the live categories are only every second year. So if you want to enter that, then you don't have a lot of time or space to kind of build up experience. And that's where I think having the Monaco competition is really, really helpful, because you get to have feedback that you wouldn't really get otherwise. And I think that's really helpful for actually being able to join in with the New Zealand nail competition if that's what you wanted to do. But the other part of it is I think like a lot of people can be worried about how they're going to perform in like a competition environment. And that's like fair enough, because it can be a difficult environment to work through. But I think it is really helpful for not just competition skills, but also learning as a nail tech. I find it really helpful to work on like timing and kind of managing that. But I do get a lot out of it, definitely.
For sure. And I think you're right there, Moose. Like, there's not a lot of opportunity to experience like how the comps run and how the timing all works. And just like this kind of pressure, quote pressure of like the timing of having other people around you, and it's loud and noisy sometimes, and you really have to kind of focus on what you're doing. There's not a lot of opportunities to experience a comp before the actual comp.
Yeah, totally.
And what was really interesting about that, Kaylee, was like, so when you didn't have your top coat on, and so Kaylee and her buddy like grabbed my attention and was like, what do we do? There's no top coat on 4 of the nails. And we had said really like, make sure that whatever is there is cured, because we have to touch it when we're judging it, and if we're touching uncured gel, that's a risk to us. And so they grabbed my attention. What do we do? Like, can I even get judged, kind of thing? And I had to think on my feet, and I don't know if this was the right thing to do, but I grabbed everybody's attention in the room and just said like, hey, I just need everyone for a second, like, Kaylee has 4 nails of top coat to go. The timer has gone off. How would everybody feel if we let her put the top coat on, but we deduct 1 point per nail, because otherwise she's not going to be able to get feedback, and she may as well have not done the competition at all because we can't judge it properly. And everyone at the end of my little spiel immediately like put their hands up and said, yes, we are okay with that. And I guess part of the reason I say I don't know if it was the right thing to do is because there's going to be a fair amount of peer pressure of like, okay, well, everyone else is saying they're okay with it, so I kind of have to say I'm okay with it. And I didn't want to be in a position where anyone behind the scenes later was like, that wasn't fair. However, what was really lovely was that the second I said Kaylee didn't get her top coat on, you could see the entire group of people start nodding their heads and like it. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know if any of you guys saw what I saw, but like before I had even offered to deduct points as the exchange for it, like you could tell everyone's like, the vibe was let Kaylee finish, like get that top coat on. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you guys saw it, but I just saw this immediate wave of nodding and like.
Yeah, I saw it, and I remember thinking, oh, they're all really nice. I was like, I don't know what I would have said. I probably would have been like, I don't know, like, you got to keep it fair. But everyone just put their hands up. I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I wasn't voting anyway, but I remember thinking, wow, they're all really nice. Like, this is a competition. But yeah, and because the other reason why was because between group 1 and 2, we were going for lunch. So it was like, how's she going to eat her lunch with this uncured polish on? And yeah, so maybe, side note, off the recording, schedule it next year so there's no lunch in between, because a lot of people were like, oh, but I think she might have scraped that nail eating lunch. And
Yeah, but we did lunch in between last time too.
oh, did we?
Yeah. Just a reminder that our free caption kit helps beauty pros write their own captions step by step. Grab yours at monaco.ac.nz/the caption kit.
I was surprised that everyone was so lovely and supportive, because competitive Mal was like, oh.
Well, my thinking was that is what they do in nationals. So if not for top coat specifically, but like so the rules are you're not allowed to get anything out of your bag, like stuff like that. And in like comps that I've done overseas before, they're so strict. They're literally like, too bad you can't do your competition. But at nationals, at NZ nail comps this year, if someone had like forgotten their brush in their bag or something like that, they were allowing you to get it, but they were doing a point deduction. So that's why I said point deduction, because I was like, well, I don't know how to make this fair, but this is what they did at nationals. What's your perspective on it, Moose? Bearing in mind we'll go safe space. Kaylee can handle it.
Perspective on what, sorry?
On like that part of comps being asked if it was okay for like a point deduction in exchange for the top coat.
Yeah, I mean, I was fine with it. I prefer that people can get feedback, honestly. And I think that is fair with a slight point deduction.
Yeah, I didn't hear any murmurs of like, ooh, that was unfair or anything like that.
No, me neither.
Yeah, I think everyone was okay with it. I think, like you, Penny, in the moment, I was like surprised that everyone was just like, yeah, maybe we're just too competitive, and yeah.
I do think that in general, everyone is really supportive around the competition. And I think everyone that I saw was kind of leaning towards helping everyone else out, or like being supportive rather than like ultra competitive. And I think that's helpful for learning and for like the future for people.
Yeah, 100%. And to learn, I guess, that it is a nice environment and people aren't trying to bring you down to win the trophy. And
Totally.
Mikkel sent us some things because she couldn't be here this morning. So what she would change, she said, well, I'm always up for a challenge, not competitive at all, wink, wink. But she thought the timing might have been a little bit off between the people doing gel and the people doing extensions, because they're a longer service, but they had the same amount of time. So that was her really only feedback. She said, maybe I'm shooting myself in the foot here for next year, but maybe the gel polish get less time and the extensions get more time.
I think my thing on that, which I've got all of this copied down to like have a think about properly as I prep next year's summit. But my thing with that is that the timing for the extensions was the exact same as what it is in the real comps. So you wouldn't want to have any more time than that. So it was the gel polish people who got more time kind of thing, because in the real comps you do two hands, and so the timing was the same, but the number of fingers was different, because in the real comps you do two hands and we just did one. However, the gel polish people were only competing against other gel polish people, so them having more time didn't disadvantage the people doing extensions, if that makes sense.
Very true. Yeah, it does make sense, yeah.
I'll still review everything like I do every year, but that's just my immediate thought.
I hadn't even thought of it in that way, that those differences of the hands and stuff. But Mikkel finished off by saying, I'm so pumped to go again. I didn't even discuss it with my husband before signing up again for 2026 because it's that good. It's like a nail tech playground. Great for networking, content creation, gold mine. I know I have a year until the next one to push myself, practice my skills and techniques, and be better. Now, after comp stuff, serious stuff, let's talk about the fun stuff. So what was your favourite event? I mean, we kind of touched on it earlier, but like pub quiz, PJs and pizza, the prize giving, the takeover, like what was your favourite event that you would be like, no, if it wasn't on the schedule next year?
I really liked the pizza and PJs. I think just because it was quite informal compared to the other two nights. And I think that was helpful for getting to know people in a more casual kind of setting. And also it was kind of like a little extra nail play time, where people were like trying things from earlier in the day, or like sharing knowledge, or like a lot of people were helping each other take off their nails and things like that. And also the pizza was good.
Yeah. Cool. And what about you, Kaylee? Yeah. Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, that was a fun thing. Right, serious question. Did any of you cry happy tears at any point? What about you, Moose?
Um, yeah, also at prize giving, I think when Penny announced the mentor of the year being Aaron, that was really, I don't know, really touching, emotional.
Yeah,
There is a photo that will never see the light of day
it better
of
not.
Mel and Erin and Nicole sitting next to each other at the mentors dinner table at prize giving, and they're all bawling. And Anthea just snuck that photo, and it is the cutest thing I've ever seen. But like, I would never do them dirty by putting it out in
I
public.
said you better not post that ever. But it is very cute. Like Nicole's like this and Erin's like this, and then I'm like, ooh, like all next to each other. But it just goes to show, like, there was no like, oh my god, it should have been me. It was immediate, like, oh my god, like happiness for Erin, from all of us. Even Penny was crying, and Penny never cries.
Yeah, it's like the one time of year that I cry is at prize giving, because I cried giving Beck a mentor of the year last year too.
Penny's like, Mel's crying too. I'm like, I always cry. Like, I'll cry if I like see someone stub their toe. Like, I always cry.
I just made a note to try and find a way to put another like casual social event in, so maybe like a breakfast or like a PJ's breakfast or something, because the thing with the social events is the first night we did pub quiz, and that everyone's in teams with their roomies, and I think that's quite important to like the rooms as well were a mix of oldies and newbies, so that each room had like almost like a buddy system of like just making sure the new people that hadn't been to Summit before were going to be comfortable. And if we hadn't started with an event where we kind of put you together to work with your roomies, then that means now you're sleeping in a room with strangers. So like, I don't know how to make that any different, or where you would put it at a different time of the event. And then also prize giving obviously is like our dress up fancy kind of thing, and obviously it's going to be at the end. So I don't know how I would change that to put more of the like casual stuff, but I do agree that pizza and PJs is like so fun because it's just like sleepover vibes. So yeah, I might have a think about how we could fit in something that's casual social but at a different time of day.
The pub quiz, I think, is perfect timing. Like you said, it gets everyone in and yeah, gets you to work together with your teammates. Everyone loved the quiz. Like the only thing we said afterwards was it was too short. Like it was so fun, it felt too short. Like I love quiz nights. And I was like, Quiz Master Mel in the house.
Mel and I spent the whole pub quiz texting each other ideas, like into our work chat, putting more ideas for next year's pub quiz.
Like more categories, like oh, I can't wait. What did we say? Finish the song lyric? Because in
Yeah.
podcasts we always allude to songs. So I was like, ooh, that would be a super fun one. Like, yeah. Quiz is perfect though, I think, where it was and the purpose it served, it definitely did its job. Like, and Kaylee, you came in just right through that. And then that night did you feel comfortable? Did you feel like you knew your roommates and stuff?
I think if you did PJ's night the first night, no one would wear PJs. They hadn't like met everyone yet. So you'd be like, oh, nah, I'm okay.
Mm.
So I want to do a quick shout out to some of our sponsors, because we have such incredible sponsors and such good like goodie bags and stuff. So I'll tell you what we had, and then you guys can pick a favorite thing. So we got Also, the thing that blew my mind was like there was some samples and stuff in there, but there was some full size shit in there too. So everybody got a set of nail tattoo transfers from Prim and Proper Nails. Everybody got an Artistic Color Revolution polish from Professional Salon Brands, PSB. Everybody got a buttercream from Gel Ink that supplies Light Elegance hair. Everybody got a disposable file sample from like the Starlex ones that are real good from Nail Art NZ. And then Anna also donated a real good spot prize for prize giving. And then we got fridge magnets from the Beauty Association. OMG Beauty gave us an exclusive discount just for Summit. Lots of these other places did too. Like, I don't know, I can't think off the top of my head, but most of these sponsors also gave discount codes. Boosted Apparel NZ did our hoodies and our t-shirts. Gilt Nail Supplies gave us a butt ton of full packs of crystals and stuff, plus a very good prize giving spot prize. And then we got Cocoist Excel color gels from Beauty Bestie. And then No Ugly Drinks, No Ugly Wellness gave us so much. Like, we had drinks like all day, every day, basically, including the best ones I think were like the No Ugly drinks are almost health drinks, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how to describe them, but one of the drinks we had just before comps was Calm, and it's got like all these things to like calm you down. And we had the hydrate one and the detox one, detox for after pub quiz. And then we also had all of our pub quiz prizes sponsored by Elizabeth Arden, and they spoiled the shit out of us too. So of all of the sponsors, what was standout goodies that you guys got?
That was amazing. But also Elizabeth Arden, mentors need skincare too. Straight away I was like, ooh, is there anything for us? Penny's like, no, get out of it. I was like, nah.
That's a boss ass prize too. Erin told me all about like what was in it and what it was worth, and I was like, holy smokes.
I really liked the crystals. I like the crystals from Gilt Nail Supplies. They were the ugly duckling ones, and they're just my favorite crystals in general. So that was great. But I also loved the hoodie.
Yeah, merch.
Yeah, we got hoodies last year, but the it's so nice to have two now.
Yeah, and they're different colors, which like last year was pink, this year's purple, and it's actually really fun. Like there was limited supply of purple, and it was suggested that maybe we had two colors for like half the group purple and half the group a different color, and I was like, no, that just won't do. Like, there's nothing cooler than walking into a sea of purple hoodies or a sea of pink hoodies, or like right now recording this, me and Moose are in our hoodies. So shout out to Boosted Apparel, who they do custom merch and stuff, and you can approach them for your salon merch and stuff too.
Just don't ask AI to change your hoodie to match everybody else's because you'll get a beard. Because I have the pink hoodie from last year because my hoodie's one that got held up in the post. And we did a post and asked AI to change my hoodie to be purple. It changed it to a light purple, but also gave me a beard at the same time. And I was like, thanks, AI. Anyway, let's finish this up. What would you say to someone who's sitting on the fence about going next year? Yeah. And I think what's cool now as the years go on, there's more and more first-time people to give that feedback. So people hopefully in the future will feel that there's enough feedback to, convince themselves that they're also going to have a great time. How about you, Moose?
I think, a big part of what I would say is also around like the feeling of anxiety. And I think that's like sometimes what you need to do to work with that is that you need to go towards things that you're scared of. So if it's difficult for you but you still think it could have a lot of value for you, try and like lean into that, even though some parts of it might be hard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. And we tried this year that one of the changes we did make was to allow more optional things. So if you are feeling like overwhelmed or you just need a break or whatever, you can just, you don't have to come to everything. Or even during things, we were telling people like, if you feel like you're getting overwhelmed and you've had enough, you can just leave, like we don't force you here. We don't lock the door or anything. So if it is getting too much for you, you can go and have a coffee or go to your room or have a shower or whatever you want to do. But yeah, you're not forced to stay in the room, or you're totally okay to go and recharge and then come back when you're ready. And yeah, it's not a like, this is class, it's in order, the door's locked, you can't leave sort of a situation. So
I think if anyone that was on the fence could see the last like half hour of Summit, they would want to be at Summit.
yeah. And everyone's saying goodbye, like, oh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it was people that had only just met that were almost in tears saying goodbye to each other. Like, that's how intense your connections become.
And like, in saying that, Moose and I are pretty similar with our social batteries. Like, I'm pretty sure that Moose basically died the same way I did. But like, so I just excused myself. Like, I knew that Mel and a couple of the other mentors were like late night people. I'm an early bird. So at some of the social things, I'd be like, all right, I'm going to slip out quietly. You guys are in charge. And I would go to bed. And like, there's definitely space for introverts too. Like, it's a lot, but there's space for introverts.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot. And even us that are more like social higher batteries, by the end of it, I was dead. I was like sitting in the airport like an absolute zombie. Like Karen came running up to me because she saw me at the airport, and I was just thinking, huh? Like, I don't know anyone here. I'm in Auckland. And then I was like, oh, it's you. Like, clicked, because my brain was just like, no. But so worth it, and I would do it all over again.
Literally 18 out of 21 people that were present on the last day signed up before the end of the last day for next year. And the 3 people that haven't yet had super valid reasons and have said that they plan on signing up for next year. And already 2 or 3 of the people from last year who couldn't make it this year are signed up for next year, which I think that's extra cool because like they had a year off for whatever reason, but it was still cool enough that they want to come back.
Yeah, totally.
Alrighty, with that done and dusted, before you disappear, like our page or follow the podcast so that you don't miss the next episode. We'll be back next week. I would normally throw to Mel, but Mel's going to say, what are we doing next week? And then I'm going to tell her, and then she's going to be like, I don't know how to make that sound fun. So I'm going to tell you that next week's, you'll understand when I say Mel, because next week's episode is one of our theory lessons, and it's nail disorders. We're going to make it fun. We're trying to make a podcast episode to complement each section of theory so that for people who are more audio listeners or more chuck it on in the car and try and take it in listeners or learners, I should say, like we're trying to make a podcast episode that complements each section of theory but more conversationally. And it just so happens that what we're up to, I think it might, wait, is it nail disorders? It's either that or it might actually, I might be lying. It might be sanitization and safety.
Oh, because that's way more exciting. Like
so much more exciting. But if you've ever listened before, you know that we'll end up on tangents and stuff anyway. So you should still tune in next week because it won't be boring theory. That's the point of doing it. Alrighty, so until then, check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube by searching Monaco Nail Academy or follow our salons. Mine is Hard Lacquer NZ.
Mine is Crafting a Healthy Mel.
Mine is Moo Cat Nails.
And that's Caley. All right, have a great week. We'll see you next time.
Bye.